And then at the top of it was visioning. And this flow chart was actually given to us by two people that are here. I know Werner Keller and Lorraine Efris. They were the ones that that recommended it to us, and we tweaked it a little bit. But the key part of that was the upfront. Ask the residents, ask stakeholders what they think before you actually move forward on development. And we adopted that. We adopted that visioning. And last month we had the first of our visioning series, and when we isolated it at that time, and it was at the end of August, we isolated it to Victoria, because we have a lot of parcels on Victoria which are on short-term leases. And so I wanted to stay on Victoria and not try to tackle the entire harbor, and that was my decision. We stayed away from Fisherman's Wharf because we all know where Fisherman's Wharf is, and it's a project moving through the process. But we did look at everything from here essentially to here, and this is where our office is and the Coast Guard office is. And we got some good ideas, and the meeting was here, and it was a good meeting. We got a lot of ideas. We're still in the process of looking at that. What I had also done is at that meeting, as I said, we're going to stay away from X3. Now, for those of you that don't know what X3 is right here, and that's on Harbor Boulevard down farther, and it's a big undeveloped parcel. And the same developer that has proposed a project for Fisherman's Wharf has what's called an ERN, an exclusive right to negotiate for X3. He also has an ERN for a remnant parcel, just a little piece here, because the hotel, as it gets redeveloped, and the marina, as it gets redeveloped, is taking up a lot of this for parking. But there is a small remnant piece, and I don't know what makes sense out there, but he does have an ERN for that remnant piece. So what I was going to do is move forward on a visioning to talk about this and this. And we met with our consultant yesterday, because I've hired a consultant that's a planner. And as we were talking, he kept coming back to, well, what's happening here? Because you really need to know or think about what's happening here, or what you think you want to do here, even when you're talking about what's happening here and here, and even what's happening here in the retail portion of Fisherman's Wharf. So as we kept going through it, and again, Tom Tellefson was there. He's the developer that has the ERNs here. He was there, and as our professional, our consultant was saying, maybe you ought to take a step back and look at everything, which a lot of people in here have been saying that's what you ought to do. Although I think that what we're hearing is do a entire master plan, but at the very least, maybe think about how this ties into this, maybe ties into here. Where do we do here? So we're taking a step back, and we're doing just that. We're going to do that. I think I just secured this club for the date that I want to do that, and that's the 24th of next month, October 24th. So we'll likely, if everything works out, have that visioning session here where we're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about these parcels. We're going to bring these up too, because one of the ideas was to put a fish restaurant here, which I think is a wonderful idea if we can find somebody that would do it. But then the question that the planner was asking is, well, if you put a fish restaurant here, how does that work here, and what does that do here? All legitimate questions that a planner would ask, and I agreed with them. We hired him for his expertise. I don't profess to know everything. I've got a professional. He's asking the questions, so that's what we're going to do, and that's what I wanted to update you on. So what we have done is we've delayed the hearing for the Fisherman's Wharf, and not for this necessarily, but I think that as we do this visioning, I think at least what's happening to the retail here, or what the vision is for the retail there, needs to come into play. And so our visioning session, which, like I said, I'll confirm it and I'll send out a notice, but it's scheduled for October 24th, I think. I've secured the date. That's what we're going to do there. And again, maybe take a more of a macro look, and I'm going to, again, as I did with the first visioning, is leave it up to our professional, our consultant, and kind of lead it, and we can talk about, what really should happen you know, throughout the undeveloped or developable parcels in the harbor. And it should, you know, and you should not do it in a vacuum. They should kind of tie together. So where we go with it, we'll see. We're looking for ideas as the visioning process is, and we'll see what happens. So that's what's happening. I don't know if you've heard that the October 7th hearing has been postponed, but that's one of the reasons is that maybe, you know, at least this could come into at least the discussion as to, you know, what does that look like there in relation to here, in relation to the end of the peninsula, if anything, but the discussion should occur, and that's what we're doing. So that's the message I wanted to deliver tonight. If you have any questions about anything else, will definitely answer them, but I did want to get that out there because that's new news. It just happened in the last couple of days. So yeah, we're.
Mark, what happened to the October 7th meeting?
That's what I'm saying. That. Yeah, I wanted to do this meeting, not this meeting, the October 24th meeting first.
Okay.
And so the city's essentially, the way it worked out was just kind of coincidental. I had already scheduled a meeting or a lunch, just a social lunch with Alex today at lunch. And so as we're discussing this, and I'm discussing it at lunch and talking, hey, what would it take to delay this? He said, well, he called his staff and they said that you're the applicant, just call and tell us you want to. And he said, by the way, if you can make a decision before 2 o'clock, then we don't even have to notice it because it was going to get noticed at 2 o'clock today. And so we made the decision. I sat there at the lunch table with Alex and sent him an email saying delay the hearing, and that's why is that we could. Yeah, right.
Yeah, just a comment, Mark. At the charrette we did, I think it was a little over a year ago, maybe 14 months ago.
More like 18 probably, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But that was one of our recommendations. Our recommendation to the county at that time, that I think went unheard, was why don't you build a master plan for the harbor so we know exactly what's going to happen at each end, instead of saying you optimize for this and then what do you do over there. So it's good that you're doing it.
Never profess to know everything.
Yes.
Is that Jeff in number 7? Because I just saw Jeff Lambert at a fundraiser this afternoon.
It's definite. We have.
Okay, second question is, do you have an update on the whale's tail site?
No. So yes, the first one is definitely definite. I've even communicated with Ken Roselle, the city attorney as well. The second one is no. We've been approached by a couple of brokers, you know, showing interest. I haven't completed cleaning it out. I don't want to take anybody in there till it's clean. We've removed a bunch of, in fact, all of the junk. We haven't gotten a cleaning crew in there to actually clean it yet. So I want to do that before we actually start showing it. But I've received unsolicited calls asking, is it going to be available? And we have. I've taken the calls and I said yes.
Fresco's out?
Fresco is out. Yes.
Because, why?
That was another meeting. Less friendly than this one. But can everybody give Mark a round of applause for coming out? Thank you, Mark. Yeah, go Packers.